Welcome back into the VHS Vault. I am one of your hosts, VHS Jason. Next to me is the great Jason Roy Gaston. Sir, we're in for a cracker tonight.
Indeed we are. My goodness, what have you unleashed upon me? And what have I done to deserve this? Don't answer that. I know what I did to deserve this.
And initially, I will be really honest, this was going to be a revenge film. That was the intent after the pain that I'd suffered in previous weeks. Now, but I must say, it was a failed attempt by me, Jason. I'm going to put it out there. Tammy and the T-Rex, a film I went in to go, this is going to be horrible, but I found myself smiling most of the way through it, Jace.
It has an undeniable charm. Is it a bad movie? Yes. Is it fun? Also, yes.
It's like, I think I messaged you at one point. It's just like there was no quality control in this movie in any department. In the acting, in the special effects, in the directing, everything was just done, I think, in one take.
My favorite message I got from you was, have you watched Tammy yet? And I thought you were referring to like a Netflix series or something. So I wrote back, no, I have not. And then you said, well, it's not at all what I expected. And I was like, great. I was at work. So I was like, great, nice. Cheers, crikey. And I put it aside and I was just, what the heck is Tammy? Because we discovered quite by accident that even the title of this movie is not consistent.
No.
Because I watched it and I thought it was called Tanny and the Teenage T-Rex.
Yep.
And you're sitting there talking about Tammy. I was just, what is Tammy? You know, at first I thought, I thought this was Tammy and the T-Rex. I guess it's Tanny and the Teenage T-Rex. No, this movie has two titles. Two titles. How do you do that?
And why did it say change? In your message here, it goes, I'll read the actual message we came out. Although Denise Richards' character is named Tammy in the film, the beginning and the end credits her as Tanny. That is the name used in the original title, Tanny and the T-Rex, as given in the uncut version released on 4K and Blu-ray.
So I guess
there is a version out there.
Yes, it's on. I watched the version that's on Peacock.
I watched the version that I could watch online. And it was pretty... Well, I know there were also two versions of this because there was one that was an initial cut, was PG. And they really dumbed down the gore. But the one I watched had all the gore.
Oh, this one had all the gore in it too.
Yeah. So I think we're watching the 2019 re-release.
There are probably more cuts of this movie than there are Blade Runner.
Wow. You know, there was some interest before we actually get into the plot of it. One of the things I was reading on Wikipedia, and I thought this was absolutely fascinating, that basically he knew a guy, right? That the director knew a guy who had a dinosaur. And it was going to get picked up in a few weeks or something. And they turned around and went, we can make a movie out of this. And so they build a movie. He writes this movie in a week, apparently. Scripts it in a week, and they shoot every skerrick of this movie like maximum 25 minutes from his house.
I believe
everything was super close. So knowing that, I'm going, oh great, this is independent schlock. and in a way, the director knows what he's doing, even though it seems he has no idea what he's doing.
My favorite fun fact about this movie is that while everything was shot 25 minutes from his house so that they could save money, there was a very large fire that was destroying lots of buildings in the area. And in some shots of this movie, you can see the smoke from the fires.
That's nuts.
Yes.
That's nuts. Like, we're going to get the shot. Yes, we might burn to death in this fire coming towards us, but we need the shot.
Yes, my cast and crew may die, but that's a risk I'm willing to take.
Made in 94, we have a bit of an interesting cast with this one, mate. It's one worth talking about.
We actually have quite a few. We have quite a few people who went on to be big stars, and we had quite a few people who I was really surprised to see one actor who I was like, "Who is that?" That is oh my gosh, I know who that is. And it really kind of surprised me whenever I realized who he was.
Well, we've got Denise Richards
Yes.
in a role. Paul Walker.
Charlie Sheen surviving Denise Richards, so more power to
All
him.
right. Yes.
The
Yes.
legendary Paul Walker.
Paul Walker, of course. Big one for me was Terry Kaiser playing the mad scientist in this film.
Mm-hmm.
He was a wonderful addition.
Yes, he was a lot of fun.
Sean Whalen. Do you know Sean Whalen?
I know Sean Whalen. I'm friends with Sean Whalen on Instagram.
I love him. He's great.
He's
been
great.
in a lot
Yeah,
of films.
I was thinking, oh gosh, would Sean Whalen like block me if I wrote him and said, "Hey, we're talking about Tammy and the T-Rex. You want to jump on our podcast?"
He's
Block.
great.
He's always great. Yes,
he's always great value. Even in People Under the Stairs when he played that really weird, creepy
Roach. Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
He was
it's
fun.
amazing. It's amazing. And also, here's a big one. Did you notice one of the stars of Napoleon Dynamite in the film?
I did. Efren
Ramirez.
Ramirez. Yes.
Yes.
I did.
And the only other actor I wanted to bring up, and I think I'll have to have a look for it in here, was I've always known him as playing the homeless guy in Steven Spielberg type films. Played he was only ever cast as the homeless guy. You see him in Gremlins, you see him in other bits, but he plays a cop in this. He plays one of the cops. Do you know who I'm talking about? I'm trying to remember his name.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember his name.
No, but he's a famous actor, and once you see him, you know exactly who this guy is and what he's done. So basically, it's populated with a really interesting cast. Go check it out, IMDb, because it's an interesting.
You missed my favorite though.
Oh,
one of the assistants of the mad scientist is played by John Franklin, who maybe does not have a most recognizable name, but you have seen this guy before. Or more than likely, you've seen him as a kid because he played Isaac in Children of the Corn, the really creepy kid.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, he was the first one the dinosaur munches on. That's the kid from Children of the Corn. Because the whole time I was watching the movie, I was like, "Who is that? Why does he look so familiar?" And then it just hit me. I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's the culty kid."
But there you go. It's populated with a great cast of. It's interesting though, where in this film you get to see why a competent director can do with actors. Because no offense to the director of this, but he's clearly not an actor's director. No. Because we get some of the most horrible performances in this film. Yes. And number one, I got to put it out there: Denise Richards is instantly awful in this movie. And it could be she's very young and she's there. But even that opening scene, she's the worst dancer out of all of them. She can't cheer for nothing.
In her defense, at least she's consistent through her whole career. I said it, and I do not regret what I said.
What?
I'm just speaking the truth.
You don't herald her performance as Dr. Christmas Jones and Well Does Not Enough?
No, strangely enough, I do not.
All right. Well,
it's pretty bad whenever you are the love interest in a James Bond movie and you're thinking the whole time, "Wow, her acting is not great."
In a James Bond film, yeah, where it's known to be the outsiders are not that great. All right. So we started off this. She plays the main girl, the cheerleader in it, Tammy, yes. or Tanny, whatever Tanny way you want to go on that one.
Let's just call her Tammy.
Yeah, where they're introduced to her boyfriend, Paul Walker, a young,
that dork,
fresh-faced Paul Walker.
Okay, I love the guy. I miss the guy. Something about him in this movie just screams, "I'm the biggest dork in the world."
Yeah,
and I love him for it because I
just feel like
I miss that Paul Walker who was in this movie in Pleasantville and everything before he got all
every scene he's in. I just feel like he's like, "I'm just happy to be here."
Yeah, he's wide-eyed. Smiling the whole time is like, I'm in a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi,
exactly.
Mom. But he does have this. It's contagious, though. His enthusiasm is so contagious, and I think that is one of the things that elevates this movie beyond just being watchable schlock. Is that despite the fact that Denise Richards is bad in it, despite the fact that Paul Walker was never that great of an actor anyway. I'm going to be honest, and
that is true.
I'm not
That is true.
trying to like whiz on his grave. He was just not a good actor.
No.
But their enthusiasm to be in this film is contagious. And
It
you
is fun.
can't help but smile as they deliver these god awful lines in these stupid situations.
And it is, everybody's got horrible stuff to work with. And you feel like most of them are like, you know what, let's just go for it, you know, including the best friend,
Yes.
who is pretty well a carbon copy cutout character from that time period. The best friend's got to be a black guy. And they've
A gay
double
black
dipped
guy.
here
Yeah.
because he's a gay black guy. So,
Yeah.
you know, so
It's
that's a bit of a stereotype from back then.
the Meshack Taylor part from the 80s. Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
However, we get to meet an ex-boyfriend of Tammy/Tanny, who plays it up to 20. He's just not an angry ex-boyfriend. This guy is a psychotic.
I was wondering the whole time, why don't they just call the police? Because this guy is clearly trespassing. He's making threats. He is clearly breaking many laws and ordinances. Just call the police and have him arrested. Put him in jail. Movie's over.
But they get into it straight away. This guy's so aggressive. They get into this fight, which is like, at this moment, I will say this early on, I'm not sure if this is a PG film, family film. There's nothing to indicate anything until we get to this immediately, and it's like they've just got each other by the kahunas, and they keep the camera rolling, and that's the fight, basically.
That is a true Mexican standoff right there.
Yeah, and kind of hilarious.
I feel your hands move, I'm going to twist. Well, I feel your hands move, I'm going to twist. I do have to say, I really enjoyed the payoff to that scene whenever Paul Walker says, "Oh, he never had anything. I had a cup on."
Yeah, that was a nice
So you sat there the entire time holding his junk in your hand, knowing he did not have yours and his, and just went with it?
And if you could act that well in that scene, if you had a cup on, so you weren't actually in pain, then why couldn't you actually act better in the film?
Why? But this is actually one of the things that makes the most sense in this movie. So, yeah,
right, we better get to the nonsensical part then, and where we get introduced.
Which part? Which one?
Okay, the real core of the nonsense of this film really is led by this man here, the great Terry Kaiser, who is just enjoying himself. He's either using way too much cocaine on set, or he's having a blast here, Jason. I don't know which one.
Absolutely. And it's all, I don't know. Maybe he's not quite under the influence as much as he was whenever he did Weekend at Bernie's, but he's definitely on the way. It's like somewhere between Weekend and Bernie's and Friday the 13th, Part 7.
And here's his crew, and he's maniacal because what he has there, Jason, and I don't know where my picture go, but what he has there is a dinosaur. But not a dinosaur as mean, it's a robot dinosaur.
Robot dinosaur, yes.
All right.
Like you'll find in creation museums, I guess. I think he bought it from a creation museum.
And it's programmed by a nerd, right? And this guy must have discovered Wi-Fi as well, because I don't know how he's transmitting to the thing. But the thing is already kind of sentient, isn't it? And in that scene, the computer's already become like its own AI, and it's alive, but it can't move. That's the thing. It can't move.
This reminds me of, I can't remember what it was. It was either Justice League or it was one of the animated DC movies, but they had Gorilla Grodd in it. And Gorilla Grodd enacts this gigantic scheme.
Yeah.
And I actually think it was the Justice League cartoon because Lex Luthor was with him. And whenever Grodd hits the button, it instantly turns every human on Earth into an ape. And Lex Luthor is there going, "You mean to tell me that you literally invented new science and created new technology just to turn everyone on Earth into apes?" I feel that's they invented new technology and new science just to create a sentient robotic T-Rex. For what
Okay.
reason? Who the hell knows?
That's the question we ask the most in this film is why? If you have an AI smart dinosaur who's almost capable of walking, why do you need to do what you do in the following scenes? Why do you want to take a human brain and put it inside a dinosaur that is going to do anything any better than what you were on the cusp of doing right then?
For the glory of Satan, of course. That's what he's doing.
For the glory of just being evil. And it's delightful.
He's a mad scientist. He's not thinking about long-term goals. He's mad. Mad, I tell you, mad dinosaurs.
So we've got the mad scientist. We've got our crew. We've got our protagonists. Now, the two must meet. We must make them meet and get into the crux of it. And they do that by basically Denise Richards, who's like, we can't be together, Paul Walker. We can't do it. My ex-boyfriend, it's too scary. And then she goes, come on over. Come on over. I don't care no more. Come on over.
Her ex-boyfriend is too scary, but Paul Walker literally had him by the balls just for fun. I'm not scared of the ex-boyfriend. I'm scared of Paul Walker at this point.
So we get the scene, and the scene that you kind of referred to before. The guy finds out, busts into her parents' home, right? Where you've got teeny versions of Ferris Bueller's parents there. And yeah, he's like, I'll call the police. But he doesn't, I don't think. And these guys...
I never call the police on this kid. That's why he's so bad.
He just gets away with anything.
Oh, so he just broke into the house. It's fine. Oh, he just beat up 3 people. It's fine. He killed my mother-in-law. It's fine. He's just, boys will be boys, you know. Yeah, call the police. Call the police, shoot him. Stand your ground and shoot him.
It leads to basically them like getting him, like surrounding him, putting him in the trunk of the car, and they dump him in a zoo.
Yes.
Where we have a bizarre lion attack scene. Which blew my mind because I'm like, that's a real lion and that's a real stuntman getting chewed on right now.
I thought it was Paul Walker. Yeah. I don't think they could have afforded us
money that day.
I think they just told Paul Walker, stand here and act surprised. Act surprised about what? Smile.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
Kitty! Oh, he's getting bigger.
Probably what happened, eh? Yeah, either way, he gets mauled by a lion and finds himself in hospital. Basically,
that's where you usually end up.
Shreds him. Apparently, not that we get to see any of it. We don't get to see.
They couldn't afford the silly putty and food coloring. No.
Well, I've jumped ahead there, but basically, next thing that happens, he finds him in hospital. The wacky doctor. Look, long story short, we end up here.
Yes.
He ends up in the hands of the evil guys.
This looks like a completely different movie at this point. This looks like naughty things are about to happen. I'm just going to leave it there.
Yes, I would say it's got the same production value. And
yes,
with the film, I get
real the same budget too.
Up to this point, the film's a little bit baldy, like, you know, a bit risque. We get a lion attack scene. But do I expect to see Paul Walker's head to be cut open in the scene and them to pull the brain out?
Okay, I'm definitely going to say that was a heck of a life cast of Paul Walker's head. I don't know
wasn't
who did that, but that was darn good because I honestly did not realize that was not Paul Walker until the skull popped off.
Yeah.
I was just like, how are they doing that with Paul Walker laying there? That's not Paul Walker. Oh my God.
I think
somebody
the special effects team, the lighting, and the cinematographer actually turned up for work that day because that looked pretty great.
They could afford them that day. They couldn't afford them any other day. But they got them where it mattered.
Yeah, and it's a violent scene. They don't really hold back. They pull his brain out. And well, from there, Jason, it gets real weird. And to me,
from there it gets real weird. Okay.
And that's where we get introduced to our our Mr. Ramirez, who gets his cameo in here,
Vote for
but
Pedro.
finds a quick demise.
That's the kid from Children of the Corn, by the way, or at least it was.
Oh, was it? Was it?
Yeah, that was him. Not him. The headless guy.
How did he die? He got chewed on. Yeah, the guy with the glasses. That's how he died, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
little.
kid from the, yeah. Ephraim got away though. It's fine.
That's right. Did he get away? I thought he got it in the end.
No, he left. I thought. Yeah, Paul Walker Dinosaur doesn't go after anyone who is not evil.
No, but here's the thing. The moment they transfer his brain from what is a very sweet, normal kid into a rage-filled homicidal maniac in a way, because he starts killing.
They fed him to a lion. I would say he's got reason to be upset.
And then this beautiful emotional scene here, if I can bring it up, because I love this. Whoop. Let me do it again. This moment here, Jason.
It's so funny.
Not this. When he says that. And the funniest thing in this movie, when we start talking special effects, has got to be the guy in the gloves, whose arms are a lot longer than it seems, because most of the time, if you have a side shot of the dinosaur, the arms are coming up like over here, or like under here. Like it's never lines up with the dinosaur profile. It's clearly a guy with a sock. And it's hilarious.
Jim Henson, it is not. But you know what? At that point, I was long past caring. I'm just like, okay, this movie has broken me on the inside. I want to know where it goes.
Oh, and
it went to some wonderful places.
It does, doesn't it? Because the violence is it's pretty well, it's on. And he's out for his vengeance. And he gets it pretty quickly. I mean, I will say for this film, it does feel like it moves at a steady rate. Like things are happening pretty quickly in this film. Like this scene here, before you know it, our homicidal maniac and his girlfriend, get it. Hey, also notice something about the T-Rex in this movie. It's never shot where you can see its feet. Because it's on the original stand that they got it to shoot from. So every time you see a full shot of it, there's something in the way of the feet to hide the platform that he's on. Instead, we get awesome dinosaur sock feet. Where every time it thinks, like you can see the rubber wobbling of the toes.
Oh, yeah. It's wonderful. I was really surprised, though, that they dispatched the bully that quickly. I don't know. I was kind of thinking they were going to save him until the end, like that ultimate revenge thing. But no, I'm going to go kill the bully like right now.
They dispose of him. Also in that scene, too, the last special effect I've got to talk about is the wide shot of the CGI. I assume CGI or stop motion.
It looks stop motion to me.
Where it's walking forward, but the feet don't ever touch the ground.
It's amazing. Levitating robot dinosaur. It's just amazing.
Levitating robot dinosaurs. Absolutely wonderful. Clearly it had no money for the budget at all for those special effects. No. And I think at one point, do they kind of lean into it? I do think they kind of must have seen the dailies at some point and just went, screw it. We'll just do what we want at this point. No one's checking it for consistency.
I don't even want to begin to guess what their mindset was in this movie. I don't know if they knew what they were doing. I don't know if they did it on purpose. All I can say is sometimes
I don't think they did. I think it is what it is.
Yeah, sometimes I take this in theater. We always refer back to this line from Shakespeare in Love. I don't know how it happened. It's just magic.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's magic. That's my thought to this movie. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know where the budget was. I don't know where their head was. I don't know, but it's magic.
It is, because he's clearly influenced by certain films and genres. I mean, there's even an element of King Kong in this film.
Absolutely.
You know, and essentially that's where we get to after that the T-Rex, Paul Walker, decides to kidnap Tammy to try to explain to her who he is. And see again, they put the hay bundles to hide the platform.
Yep.
That's wonderful. And what is a hilarious scene, as he's trying to explain to her using charades, by playing charades, that is the most articulate dinosaur, you know. And you knew what up to when he picked up the best friend, remember it? Wipes the dust off his shoulder. I love it. But that scene, Jason, where and they set it up early in the film, where the only way he gets through to her is by chewing on that rose.
Yes. That was.
And I'm like,
it
was set up. I'll go with it. But then she just becomes obsessed, doesn't she? She finds out who it is. She turns into a nut job.
Yes. Which is fine, because now she fits in with the rest of the cast.
Yeah, she goes total nut job. And she dresses like a nut job too. She goes from this innocent, all-American girl dress-wise to wearing this sexy goth red dress. And then obviously what we get at the end of the film. So there's an immediate change with her, and I think that was a choice they decided to do. And their idea, and this is just stupid, her immediate idea to resolve this issue of his brain being inside a dinosaur is to go to the morgue and grab the body.
Yes.
How she plans on reconnecting the brain to the spinal cord?
She didn't go to the morgue to reconnect the body, because that was after the funeral scene, wasn't it? And by that point, the body was like,
the initial idea was to go to the morgue. Yes, you're right. They will go to the funeral. Now, let's set it up here. Funerals are generally 4 to 7 days after someone has passed. That's generally when you're having it. In more, difficult circumstances, balloons out. So I'm going to say, even though there's just chest damage, this happened about less than a week later. When they go and discover and open the casket, right, to discover Paul Walker, he has decomposed like in 6 months, in like a few days, because this is what we get.
I laughed so hard when they because I don't know. There's always that thought in the back of your mind that, well, they're going to put the brain back into the body and Paul Walker's going to be okay. And right there, they're just like, no.
No,
that's
we're not going to do it. No,
that lovable little
Paul Walker was hired for a week. That was it.
Yeah. He wasn't wearing the dinosaur costume, you mean?
No, I don't think at all. Though he does return at some point. It may be voice only.
Yeah, voice only. But yeah, you know what? Money's money.
Money's money. 100%.
$20 is $20.
So I don't know how this body decomposed in 4 days. Maybe the morgue's air conditioning unit had broken down that week. I don't know what it was. But it does trigger her next point to go to the morgue.
Yes.
To find another body. So she's gone from all-American sweet girl who lost her boyfriend into, I'm going to desecrate bodies.
Because of course
I'm going to steal bodies. Absolutely.
Yes. Of course.
Which clearly doesn't work. So again, what's the point of that scene?
Fun. It's just fun. It's basically
nothing attaches to anything.
It's basically that 80s scene where somebody goes to the mall and tries on all these dresses and outfits, and everybody's going, no. But this is like dead bodies in a dinosaur. Like, oh,
yes.
But yes, oh, no.
It is fun when they kind of hold it up to the body, and then you've got just the head of the dinosaur in the truck. Just the head, because special effects budget's low, and they only could see the head. And you've got the sock guy with the hand giving him thumbs up going, no.
I did think it was rather progressive that for a little bit he did consider the woman. You know, you can see like,
yeah, that is progressive.
Yeah,
that is progressive. However, it all culminates in Jason in a scene in the barn at the end, where we see our titular hero, the T-Rex, be gunned down by the police. Gunned down.
Very sad. Very sad.
Very, very, very sad. But But alas, he's a robot, guys. He can't really kill I'm thinking they're going to have to do a headshot here. This is the only way you're getting through is a headshot. But no, they're dumb enough to fall for that trick. Lures in the dock. Our great friend Terry Reiser spectacularly decides to, get disemboweled by him, I think.
Of course he
One of them
does.
yeah.
They
And
all
then he
get turned into
spits it
ground
at
beef.
her. Then he
Yeah.
spits it at her. And so we
That's a
close
level
off
of
this.
petty that I respect right there.
And they close off I mean, that's the end of the film, really, isn't it? Essentially, that's the story. That's the tragedy of this film, is the fact that she loses her boyfriend twice in this movie. But no.
Marvel after
Just when
credit
you
scene.
thought, just when you thought it couldn't get more bizarre, it does, Jace. In a scene where we see Denise Richard rushing home after school, getting all excited, talking to a camera because she has his brain in her room in a petri dish attached to a camera. And then
Because
decides
of course
to
she
do
does.
a sexy dance for him.
Yes.
And we're hearing Paul Walker's thoughts throughout this, dude. Going, oh yeah, baby, take it off. To what is the most hilarious climax of this film, in more ways than one, is that when Paul Walker gets to that point, sparks shoot out of his brain, Jason. And then
This is the thinking man's movie.
We end the film, her in mid-sentence. Did you notice that? That happens. She stands up, goes to the bed, is sitting down, kind of saying, oh, yeah, we're going to have to, I don't know what the line was, but it was just faded to black credits.
They instantly ran out of money right then. That was the
right
moment
then.
the last penny went out of the budget. They spent it all on the brain in the jar. So she got through. We're going to have to, okay, we're done. You can't afford me anymore. I'm hearing some James Bond money in my future.
There's a magical valley. There's a magical valley with bad films. And we spoke about it earlier. Yes. Where you can get to a film where it's bad and you resent it and you don't like it and it's boring and all this kind of stuff. And then it gets into this zone. And this is the zone where this film lives. Where it's just, hey guys, we don't care. We made a crap film. We hope you enjoy it. And it works. It works. Nothing makes sense. It's stupid. It's bad acting. It's horrible special effects. But putting it in together is just, it works. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I'll happily show it to other people and recommend it to other people.
We've had this happen to us before, where we drew a movie and thought it was going to be the worst thing ever, and we enjoyed it thoroughly, and that was Ator, the Fighting Eagle.
Yes,
Ator and Tammy and the T-Rex, they are cousins, and they are both highly enjoyable, stupid cousins that are so much fun to watch. But they are dumb.
Well,
they are dumb.
I think this is the fourth great bad movie we've seen. I would say Ator. We got Q.
Q was not a bad movie. Q was great.
No, Robot Jocks.
Robot Jocks was bad, but I loved it.
Yes,
we can live.
We can live. But yeah, no, beautifully done. Bad movie, which I couldn't even find out how much money this movie made. There's no record of it on the internet.
None at all?
Not at all. Couldn't find whether the thing made $1 or not. But clearly he'd built up a cult following because, like I said, they re-released it on Blu-ray in 4K in 2019. So, what a joy.
It was made on a budget of $1 million.
Oh, it's got box office results? That's what I was looking for.
Let's see. Tammy and
no way that thing made $1 million at the box office. There's no way.
Let's see. Tammy.
Box office Mojo go, we ain't got nothing.
Boy, I don't see it here either. Surely there's got to be some record.
You would think so, but if not. But it doesn't matter, I suppose, Jason, because
to know.
It's precious in our hearts, this film.
I have to know. Reception doesn't say. Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, yeah, they probably made their money back.
I think they would have on video, home video. I do
Oh,
not
yeah.
see this making any money on. Yeah, I don't see this thing making any money in the
did
cinema.
Tammy and the T-Rex make? Does not say. How strange.
It is what it is, my friend.
I have to find out what it is. I have to. I have to know.
Well, you have to know. Well, we know now what Tammy and the T-Rex is, mate. I've enjoyed it. I know you enjoyed it.
I did. It was so much fun.
So I didn't punish you in the end, but it doesn't matter because I think next week we're both going to be punished.
We are
no matter
both
what.
in trouble, yes.
So the next episode of the VHS Vault, guys, is we now go to the reboot of A Nightmare on Elm Street with A Nightmare on Elm Street, 2011, I believe.
Yeah, the non-Robert Englund Freddy Krueger. And I am so sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we got to do it. We've got to finish it off. So
yeah, that will be the end of our Nightmare on Elm Street.
Retrospective.
So, yeah, we are closing another chapter.
We are.
I wonder what the next chapter will be.
We'll announce that at that show. At the end of that show, we will announce it. But what I can do is tell them what we'll be watching the following week as well. So just everyone knows. We will then be doing The Last Starfighter, which I do believe is a Patreon recommendation. Is that correct,
Yes,
Jason?
I believe that came from Mr. John Gibbons on our Patreon. And if you would like to join us on Patreon, please see the link information in the video description. You will get exclusive videos. You will get first in line recommendations to us and to our other review show, Jason Watches, and other weird surprises that I like to throw out just for the heck of it.
Sounds great, mate. Get in on it, everybody. Well, that's it, guys. We hope you've enjoyed our review of Tammy and the T-Rex and Tammy and the Teenage T-Rex.
Either way you say it, it's still enjoyable. We'll
catch you next time, guys, on the, well, what do we call it? The VHS Vault.
The VHS Vault. Sean Whalen actually told me there's no way in hell I'm going to be on that podcast with you. And I said, I
would sell my soul to get him on a Twisters podcast. I'll tell you that, a Twister podcast.
Do you think that he's behind the idea of a Twisters sequel, or do you think he's got a cameo, or do you think he'd just
I think he's supportive.
He's a very wholesome dude, yeah.
Any reference to any of the previous cast in that thing. None.
I at least want to see a cameo from somebody in the original cast. And my money's on Sean Whalen. I want to see him.